Hello future CAs, welcome back to my channel again. So I am on a mission to help you ace your CA exams with confidence and clarity. So in today's video I am going to explain the key points discussed in the ICAI webinar for the IDT CA final. So if you follow these guidance, you can increase your score significantly. So whatever points were discussed in the webinar, I have divided into three parts. That is preparation strategy during the study leave, and then 1.5 day revision strategy before your exam day, and then the exam strategy to be followed in the exam hall. So these are the three parts that we'll be covering today. So stay tuned with me till the end of the video. Also guys, if you are new to my channel, please subscribe for more CA exam related guidance, tips and strategies. So guys, when you visit my channel, do check out the playlist section. You will find several curated playlists for the CA final exams. Make sure to explore them and watch the videos in order to get maximum benefit from each topic. So first we'll be discussing the preparation strategy during the study leave. So first go through all the test your knowledge question from the study material. This is very important, because sometimes similar questions are asked in the exam, and this will also help you to build genuine problem solving skills. And also for each of the subjects, when you go to the BOS knowledge portal, you can find the corrigendum there. So if there is any corrigendum for IDT, go through that also, and also study the statutory updates and judicial updates also, which are applicable for your attempt. Next is how to master the computational problems. So focus on the tricky areas in each problem. Whichever numerical problem you are trying to solve, identify the tricky areas in that and try to solve that without looking at the notebook. And then compare your answer with the suggested answers, that is with the ICAI textbook answer, and identify the common error patterns. Whatever errors you are doing, identify those patterns and note it down in one place, so that later on when you are revising, you can revise that part, that you had done error in that part, so that you will be careful about it. And also whatever important provisions are there, try to memorize that. Concentrate more on the provisions rather than the section number, rule number. The provisions mentioned should be correct. And also try to understand the logic behind each of the calculation. And also when you are going through the computational question, prepare gist of tricky issues. So as I mentioned earlier, whatever tricky issues are there, suppose you are solving one question and there is some tricky adjustment, you can mark it with a highlighter and you can summarize the meaning of that adjustment and whatever treatment is there at the end of each of the questions, so that while revising it will be easier for you. So following are few steps for your part 2 mastery, that is practice. So try to practice as many questions as possible independently, and practicing independently means you have to do written practice, not just seeing whether you know the answer. And after you do the writing practice, compare your answer with the ICAI answer and review the solution, and based on the comparison, mark any errors or whatever wrong you have done, mark those. And also in each of the question, whatever important or tricky adjustments are there, summarize those. And later on when you revise, what you can do is, instead of practicing each and every question, when you are revising, much time won't be left. So what you can do is, that time only those questions where you had any error, only those questions where you had done any error, or whether there is any question where there is tricky adjustment you would have marked, right? Only those questions you can practice in the second revision. And also for revision purpose, you can use Saransh also. So this is a booklet containing pictorial summary of all the chapters. So you can go through this also. And one more important point which you have to go through during the study leave is the question paper pattern. So let me quickly walk you through this question paper pattern, so you can get a notebook and write down. So basically MCQ is for 30 marks and descriptive is for balance 70 marks. So in MCQ, like from goods and service tax, 26 marks MCQ will come. And from customs and foreign trade policy, 4 marks MCQ will come. And in the descriptive part, the first question, which is compulsory question, right? That will be from goods and service tax part. So this is very important in the question paper pattern. Now we will go to 1.5 day revision strategy, because how much ever we study, what we revise in 1.5 day is very important. Hence it is very important to revise strategically in the last 1.5 day. So let's see how we will do it. So in this 1.5 day, you have to revise smartly to score high. So first you have to revise the substantive provisions. So begin with the core legal provision that form the foundation of this subject. So substantive provision means, example, levy of GST, rate of GST, taxable supply, exemption. Basically these provisions tell you what tax is applicable, on what items it is applicable, how much is applicable. So go through these chapters like place of supply, time of supply. So these chapters fall under substantive provisions. Supply under GST, change of GST, place of supply, exemptions from GST, time of supply, value of supply, input tax credit. So first go through these chapters. After this, next you will be going through the procedural law. So these explain how to comply with the law. They tell you the steps, forms, timeline, processes, etc. For example, registration, filing returns, payment procedure, etc. So go through these for both GST and customs as well. And then go through the enforcement provision. So these ensure the law is followed properly. So they deal with the action against non-compliances like penalties, interest, inspection, audit, arrests, etc. So in this order you have to study the chapters. So just to summarize, substantive provision means what is the law, and procedural provision means how to follow the law, like registration, timeline, processes. And enforcement provision means what happens if you don't follow the law. So follow this step when you are revising. So why this sequence matters is because this is also based on section wise weightage sequence. So first, if you study the substantive provisions, majority of the high weightage topics will be covered. And also this leads to a logical flow. And also this will help you in confidence building as well. And also one more important thing is go through the statutory updates and judicial updates for this subject. So this is available on the BOS knowledge portal. So many of the times it was noticed that many students skip these updates. Hence they tend to lose marks in the exam. And also while revising, go through the Saransh as well. So what you have to do is one day before exam, first revise the substantive provisions, then procedural provisions, then enforcement, and then go through the Saransh. And also when you were doing the written practice of the computational problems first time, whatever error notebook you would have made or whatever tricky issues you would have summarized, go through that also. And if you have made any notes of the section numbers, provisions, you can revise that also. So this comprises of the 1.5 day strategy. Next important thing discussed in this webinar was what strategy you should follow in the exam hall. So this is also very important because how much ever we study and revise, finally what we write in the exam, that itself is more important. The answer should be presentable and it should speak for us. So our answer should be written in such a way that the examiner should get the impression that we know the law thoroughly. So let's see what is this exam hall strategy now. So quote the section numbers, circular numbers only when you are 100% sure. So in the exam, concentrate on writing the provisions more than the section numbers. Only if you are absolutely sure, only that time you can mention the section number, circular number, etc. It's not compulsory to write. Next, the first 15 minutes reading time that you will get. This is the golden 15 minutes. So in this, what you have to do is in the first 5 minutes, have a quick glance at all the questions. And then in the next 5 minutes, what you will have to do is, so in the descriptive part, there is one choice, right? So decide which question you won't be answering. Then in the next 5 minutes, you have to decide as to which question you will answer first. So answer the question which you know the best first and then the second best one, so on. Now some tips relating to MCQ portion. So you can assign relatively less time for MCQ because no reasoning is required. So if you just mark the answer on OMR sheet is enough. If there is any rough calculation required, just do it on your answer sheet itself. Maybe in the last page of the answer sheet, just you can give a heading as a rough calculation for MCQ purpose and you can do the calculation there. So try to focus on giving quick and accurate responses. So read the case scenario carefully, identify the relevant information and legal provisions. And based on this, try to arrive at the answer. And now for descriptive portion, allocate time based on the difficulty and marks assigned to each question. So usually the first question has more marks and it's also a bit complex. So you can allocate more time to the compulsory question. And for other question, consider the complexity of provisions and try to allocate the time. So in your home itself, if you are practicing the mock test paper, you can practice this time allocation also, so that it will be easier for you in the exam hall. And also ensure that you reserve 10 to 15 minutes for revision purpose. And also in the descriptive part, ensure that you write each answer in commensuration with the marks allocated. So if there is a 4-marker question, don't go on writing pages together because the lengthy answers don't fetch any extra marks. It's better to be precise and to the point. This will prevent wastage of your time and also improve clarity. So ICAI focuses on quality over length. Also try to attempt all the questions. Attempt entire 100 marks paper. Don't leave anything. And also one more suggestion given was start every question and every subpart from a new page. And if you do not know the answer to any subpart, you can leave a space in between. And all the subparts of one question should be answered in one place itself. Like don't answer first 3A, then 2B, then again 3C, then go back to 2A. Don't do like that. Suppose you are answering question number 3 and there are 3 subparts A, B and C. So you know the answer to A and C, but you don't know the answer to B. So first you can answer subpart A. Then you can answer subpart C. Then just estimate how much page will be required for subpart B and leave so much page and continue writing the other answer. And then you can come back later and you can answer this part. So the main exam success formula is in the first 15 minutes reading time, plan carefully. Then in the next 2 hours 45 minutes, try to execute what you have planned and keep aside 10 to 15 minutes for revision. So if you follow all this, definitely you will succeed in your upcoming exams. So guys, that's a quick summary of the ICAI webinar for CA Final IDT May 26 exams. So make sure you use these insights smartly in your preparation, because sometimes it's these small strategic inputs that can help you make big difference in your scores. So guys, if you found this video helpful and informative, please like the video and also share it with other CA finalists. And also subscribe to my channel for more such exam focused updates. All the best with your preparation. Go ahead and maximize your marks, and I will see you all in the next video.